Hey guys, I have some really big news that I want to share with you that I've been sitting on for a while. I'm really excited to announce that TWE is moving all of the horses, my business, all of my clients, everything. We're all moving to a new facility. It's still in Central Texas. It's about an hour away from where we are currently located, and actually is my own backyard. So we're able to bring the horses home, and we've been working on this for a very long time. I'm so excited to be able to, that is finally here, the day is finally here. And so this video, what I'm going to be showing you guys is some about what we've built already. This is the beginning phases of the overall plans, the larger facility plans that we have. A lot of it's DIY, things that we've been doing, my husband and I ourselves. And eventually these particular structures and what we've built so far is going to become the area of the overall facility that will house board and train clients and be for, different behavior cases that I take on and such like that. So this is going to be temporary housing for my horses, my herd, but it's enough that I can bring them home, and I'm gonna have them in my backyard, and I'm so excited about that. The other part I'm gonna share in this video is the process of moving them. So actually today is Friday, the day before we move. I'm taking this video the day before, and so that I can document the whole process of moving them. I'll be sharing with you guys what I've done to set them up for success, the process that we're taking to do the move, kind of the whole plan. I'll show you about them settling in, how I help them settle in, how I help them drink and stay calm, how I support their stomachs and, from stress and anxiety, and how I keep them all calm and happy, and just every little thing that we've done so far and we will continue to do over the next couple of days. I hope that this video is helpful for you in more than one way. I hope it's also a way that you guys can just join in the journey with us and celebrate with us, because like I said, we've been working towards this for a very long time, and I am so ready for this, and just anyway, it's been a long road with lots of ups and downs, and it's kind of surreal that the day is finally here. Keep watching the rest of the video to get some ideas maybe for your own facility, or how to help your horse transition to a new home, or just to enjoy the journey with us. brush clearing this one of the pens right now. But look, the fencing is almost up. Yeah, you can see it's up over there. So actually today is Friday, the day before we move. I'm taking this video the day before, and so that I can document the whole process of moving them. It is 5:14 in the morning. I am by no means a morning person. We're currently driving to start the day with the horses, and yeah, we're trying to beat the heat. It's 107 high here today, and yesterday it was 107. So we are trying to get everybody moved before noon. So starting off really early is the name of the game here. Thankfully, it's been this hot for months now, and so everybody's pretty accustomed to it, but putting them in a tin box where, you know, they are going to be sweating and working out is not a good idea. So we'll see how the second set goes. We're going to be moving them 2 sets at a time. Here at the barn, it was an hour drive from where we live and where we're moving to. I have pre-soaked pellets that are ready to go, and I'm putting a calming supplement in it to start getting going for all of them, and also giving them their daily feed so that they just get supplements once a day with their soaked pellets. And so that's my first task before I do anything else, is to go do that. My husband, meanwhile, is actually
working, filling up tires and doing all that stuff. So I'm very grateful to have his help with this.
With 3 people working, we're almost ready. Right now we're moving horses into different areas so that, well, a couple of my guys, if I leave them out in the pasture, they chase the trailer and it makes them really anxious, and I don't want them to feel like the rest of the herd is leaving, so I'm moving them to a different pasture. Meanwhile, moving the other guys to a place where they can easily see their buddies loading into the trailer, so they're not just leaving one at a time into the dark, ominous trailer hole. So yeah, so we're going at this very systematically. All right, everybody's loaded up. Candy, Cashmere, and then we got June and Sugar in this one. And we'll be back for the other 4. Are all settled in. We just finished dropping off the first set. I am all nice and sweaty. Now I have an hour drive back to get the next set, which is 4 of them. I'll be getting Raven, River, Finn, and Pumpkin, and they're the last ones. So the first set was June, Cashmere, Candy, and why am I missing? Oh, Sugar. And we took 2 different trailers for them because Cashmere needs 2 spots, and then I couldn't just leave one. And anyway, it just worked out. You have to trust me. This is the way I organized it so that no horse had to travel by themselves. We efficiently distributed the weight and the work, and they got to travel with their companions, and everybody got a comfortable spot. So far, so good. They did excellent. They exceeded all my expectations. Everybody jumped right in. We had 0 problems. Everybody unloaded beautifully. I was most worried about Sugar getting in, but she did. She did great. And then Cashmere, when she unloaded, I was worried about her getting anxious and starting to revert to some old behaviors of like pulling on the lead rope and just starting to get colicky, all of that she does when she's stressed. And she hasn't done any of that. I've got somebody sitting with them while I go back for the next load, one of my clients, June's owner. So I feel very comfortable leaving them. They're super chill. They're just chilling, eating, really content. I'm very, very impressed with them. And apparently we did a lot of good prep work and it's worked. So we're on group number 2. Thankfully it's very breezy and it's dried a lot. It's not as humid as it was, but I hosed everybody off to help with them, regulating their temperature. And let me put them in the trailer here in a second. then we're gonna get on the road and hopefully we'll get home before it gets too impossibly hot. All right, 3 in so far. I am really happy with how well they did. Just one after another, just marched right on, no hesitations. Yeah, they're doing great. And I know there's a little bit of movement over there. I just don't have time to clean it out, but I'm only going an hour, so we'll be okay. But yeah, last one is Mr. Finn. All right, everybody's in. We are on the road. Last load of horses. These horses don't go places very often. They are not seasoned travelers. They do not show a lot. They don't do, like Raven hasn't left the property since she arrived like 4 or 5 years ago. So we practice with the trailer all the time, but we don't necessarily go anywhere. But yeah, Raven is the one I am most concerned about. She's not left home. She's not done anything. We'll see what she does when we get there. But I'm hopeful so far. She's been doing great. The family's hanging back to finish getting another load in the empty trailer now. And I will be back later this week to get one more load. So I will be back one more time, at least. I mean, my family lives here, so I will be back more than one time. But to do the move, finish the move. So anyway, I'm very excited they're all in the trailer. Such a huge relief. And then it'll be a really big relief when they're unloaded and everybody is in their pens and chilling. We almost made it before we hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 102 according to my truck. If I look at the weather thing, it says a little bit lower than that, but honestly, I trust my truck. But we're here, we just arrived. I'm getting it ready to unload everybody. All the horses are here. I am disgusting and dirty and sunburned and hot, but they're here and that's what's important. We're just hanging out right now. Everybody had pens set up before they got here. I brought in panels from our old place and also some extras. Everybody had a hay net and a hay ball full of alfalfa and water buckets, and everything was all prepared so that when they unloaded, they went straight into their area. We're purposely keeping them in a contained space because I didn't want them to start panic running. A lot of times when horses are over threshold, they've got a lot going, they're, just everything that's going on, right? They just start panic running and they can get everybody riled up, and this is when they're likely to get hurt. So even though my horses are used to being out 24/7, this type of environment is not completely unfamiliar to them. This is a perfectly safe environment. I don't want to cause unnecessary stress. So I've set it up very strategically where they're each in groups with horses that they're familiar with and they're comfortable with, and they're in their pens, just settling, eating, drinking, recovering from the trailer ride in the shade for the most part. And then we will, one at a time or one group at a time, we're going to walk them the perimeter of their pens, their paddock areas, and we'll spread out hay and alfalfa and stuff to keep them distracted, or give them something to do so they're less likely to start panic running. But we'll walk them first, and with positive reinforcement, kind of feeding them, helping, if they get stuck someplace or a little bit worried, we'll be there to support them. We'll go in groups, and so they're not by themselves, and then we'll let them off the lead as we feel like they're comfortable. So only once we feel like they're nice and calm and they're not going to panic run. But as far as how each of the horses are doing individually, they're all doing fantastic. I am particularly just wowed by Cashmere and Raven. Raven kept her cool very, very well, walking off the trailer and coming into her pen. Super pro, star, amazing. Cashmere has also, same thing, just absolute pro, really quiet and relaxed about it, just sitting in her pen with Candy next to her. just really chill. Pumpkin and Finn have traveled before, and so has June. She's traveled more, and so has Sugar. So I had, and River too. So I knew a little bit more about how they would respond, but I was uncertain about Cashmere and Raven. Raven's not left in 4 years or more, and Cashmere, she just has a lot of negative associations and even trauma around traveling and going to new locations and changing homes. So it's been critical for her going to a new home with all of her buddies. So that's been a big key difference, I believe, for her. Well, as far as the trailer ride itself, Raven also excellent. They all did excellent. River got a little bit more sweaty than I would have liked. Like, we pushed her probably to that max of where I would feel comfortable trailering a horse, but she was in that very first slot that doesn't have a lot of breeze that comes through, and she had that she had a back on track scrim sheet on to help with her muscle. She has a muscle condition, but other than that, we made it here just in time. It got a little bit over 100, like by a degree or two. I would have liked to be here a little bit earlier. We were running about an hour behind today, but it was still within safe range. It was a short drive. They've been drinking well, eating well. I mean, overall, I'm like just really happy and really relieved, because we had a lot to accomplish in a short morning, and it could have gone very poorly. There could have been any number of hiccups, and there was literally 0 hiccups. Like, everybody walked right onto the trailer. There was no accidents on the road, no flat tires. Like, it's just really incredible. Honestly, I'll probably have a big emotional letdown later, because I've been planning for this and anticipating this and working towards this for a very, very long time. All of this has probably been going on for well over a year now. I've been planning on this, and I know that sounds probably like people travel with their horses all the time, but you have to remember that, one, I'm moving my entire herd and some of them do not travel well or at all. Like, I've never traveled before. So, and my standards of what I want that experience to be like is really, really high for them. That way, if it's just a little bit less than awesome, you're still doing pretty good. I wasn't wanting to wing it. I wanted everybody to be very, very prepared, very happy, very content with the whole process. Nobody to be stressed, nobody to be worried, nobody to panic. I didn't want anybody to refuse to get into the trailer. I wanted it to run very smoothly. That's part of the reason it's been in the plan, or I've been planning for so long. The other part of it too was that I thought we would move all the way earlier. It's August right now, and we were supposed to move them back in May. So actually, even before that. But it's done now. We're here now, and it went perfectly. All right, guys, this marks the very first trip, my walk from my house to the horses. This pasture right here is right out my back door. I'm very excited about that. This pasture is not ready for them yet. They're not in this one, but we will very soon be able to use it. Right now I'm walking up to where the pens are, and I'm very excited that this is the, what do they call it, a maiden voyage? Very first time. These piles will disappear and the gates, and anyway, we're still working on it. Like I said, we've been doing this all ourselves on weekends and evenings, and it was time. The horse's space was ready, but now we're gonna keep working and keep going with building, growing, the new other phases of the project, and I'm prettying things up. All this is gonna go to work on the road, but the horse area is done and safe. So it was enough to bring them home. So, yeah, I'm very excited to be able to make this walk now. Hi, are you guys doing okay? think of your new home? Okay, back really quick to what I did to prepare them for this move. I brought water from home. That was really critical because our water here is quite different. And so they're gonna have to slowly adjust to the new water. I brought water filters that they're familiar with. And then I brought big jugs of water from home so that their first water they had here was definitely water they were used to. They started on a calming supplement a couple weeks ago. And that one, I'll put the name of it in the caption, but just know that I'm not at all sponsored or endorsing anything. So far I'm really happy with the results. The one that was in their feed, I started adding it a couple weeks ago, and per their recommendation, the company's recommendation. And then the second one they got this morning, 2 hours, or it was actually only an hour before we left. It's supposed to be given 2 hours before, but I only could do it an hour before. So, and it works fine. So they got kind of like two different things, and I'll put that in the captions and stuff. But just know, again, I'm not endorsed for this. I'm not in any way promoting it or whatever. Like, you need to treat your horse as an individual, look at your situation as an individual. Just because I use this combination, there was a lot of thought and a lot of process and analyzing and everything that went into that. So it wasn't just a simple decision that I made just because somebody recommended it, like, kind of thing. You know what I mean? All of their hay's coming from home. For the next, they'll have all the hay that they're familiar with for the next handful of weeks, including round bales. I had a shipment brought here of round bales that is the same as the ones they're used to from home. So of course it's helpful that we're only an hour away from where they were before, so it wasn't that big of an ask versus like changing states or whatever. I made sure to have those hay balls ready with alfalfa. They're all good with alfalfa. Made sure that we practiced like at least once every horse, once a week for many months now. At least 6 months we've been doing that. So to getting in the trailer and getting out. And we practiced gradually working up to shutting the gates and just all that stuff. So it was a very gradual process. And then I was very purposeful about moving the horses in groups in their herd groups. So the horses that they're familiar with and comfortable with is the ones that they moved with. Yeah, and I think that's about covers it. I mean, all their feed's gonna be the same, supplements the same, hay's the same, water's the same. Like, as much as I could do the same, that's what I did. So, and I tried my hardest to treat everything the same as when we practiced. So no extra shipping boots went on if we didn't practice with them. No extra hoof boots went on if we didn't practice with them. The only thing that was probably different today than when we practiced was putting on River's sheet, but she's so used to having that sheet on that it wasn't a big deal. But I like to keep my horses pretty naked in the trailer, so, and they did great. And yeah, and we made sure to practice in the trailers that we moved in. I think that's about it. Like, I think I've covered most of it, but feel free to ask questions. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I would be happy to answer them. I'm always happy to help reduce stress and help people. Something that has to do with me. So I was really anxious this morning. I've been actually anxious for about a week now, just because I've been hyper thinking this for weeks now. And the one thing that I was very, very purposeful with doing is, even though I was feeling really anxious internally, is I made sure to keep breathing. So I was paying a lot of attention to the way I was breathing, how often I was breathing, stuff like that. And then I tried my absolute hardest to, once I got to the point where I was ready to go get a horse to put him in the trailer, I erased all expectations. Like, it doesn't matter how long this takes. It can take forever to get into this trailer. It doesn't matter. We have no plans, nowhere to be, nothing to do. We're just practicing. And that, I think, made a really big difference. Helped reduce my stress, and I think helped reduce the anxiousness or potential anxiousness for any of the horses. Because I know a lot of times, like, we're like, practice, okay, great. And then we go to do the trailer day, like, you got to get in. And there's all this like unspoken pressure on the horse. So that was something that I was really purposeful with doing too.